Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 190 for Tuesday, the 12th of December, 2023. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me tonight is...
Graham, GHAM-OX14, or Gamot.
And Sensei Switch.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now,
No problem.
I am going to be starting the show on quite a sad note, so apologies for that. But if you're not a member of the Discord, the Twitter, or the Facebook group, then you wouldn't know this sad news. Unfortunately, a dear friend of us all sadly passed away on Sunday, the 10th of December. Nigel Arnold. A lot of you will know him by his gamer tag of Hogarth. So for those of you that don't know, he'd been battling cancer since the beginning of the year. Just a little bit of history, because he kept it very quiet. He was quite a private guy when it came to things like that. He had a heart attack in around January, and then off the back of that, from the meds he was on, after more tests found out he had cancer of the gullet, which then spread to his liver. The treatments didn't do the job, and after speaking to his son, he was actually up and around kind of doing his normal stuff until around 2 weeks ago, where he went downhill very suddenly. And I received a message on Saturday to say that he was not in a good way and he only had a couple of days to live. And then unfortunately received the message last night that he'd passed away in the morning. So came as a massive shock to me, to be honest, because he's one of those people... I've actually known him online for around 15 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Gamed online a hell of a lot. We've met up a few times at the old Eurogamer Expos with the community. So I know quite a few people have met him as well in real life. Always a very active member of the community. Very supportive. He was the longest serving Patreon as well. You know, he was one of the first people to always support the show financially if he could, offer his support and help in many ways. He was on the podcast a number of times. I've actually chucked a couple of podcast episodes up this evening on the main free feed that were Patreon exclusives, which Nigel was on. So those are available for everyone to just listen to his voice. To maybe hopefully bring a bit of comfort to some people out there. So I mean, for me, we kept in contact quite a lot this year about many different things, so it was a bit of a shock, because when we spoke only a month or two ago, he was quite positive about everything, and he was pretty sure that he would see Christmas this year, but unfortunately that wasn't meant to be. So very, very sad, and my deepest condolences to all his family and friends.
100%.
Just looking at his Facebook profile yesterday, the amount of people that have put comments on there, hundreds, just goes to show how much of a well-liked and amazing guy he was. So
he never really had a bad thing to say about anyone either.
No, it was a very positive influence on everyone he came across, I think. So...
Such a shame.
So, I just wanted to just let everyone know it is horrible news. But one thing that myself and the Patreons have done, just a little token as well, is we've named a star after him with the official star naming people. And the certificate has been sent to me digitally, but a proper certificate, it has been posted to his widow. So just a small token from us, just to say how much he was loved, how much he's loved, and how much we're going to miss him.
He did like his astrology as well, didn't he? He used to post some pretty good pictures on Twitter.
Amazing.
His photos were awesome, weren't they?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why. It's my wife who thought of it, because obviously we all know how much of a how much he loved his astronomy, right? And we thought that'd be like kind of the perfect little gift, you know. But if anyone is interested in seeing his amazing space photos, he did actually put a lot of them into the Discord in our photography channel. So if you are interested, there is a lot of them in there. So check them out. Absolutely amazing. He was so good at them. He actually was so good. He actually had a lot of his pictures put into the official like astronomy magazine as well. Proper publication. So, you know, that's how good his photos are. So
he always used to describe how he took his pictures as well, didn't he? Like what lenses and like aperture and like shutter speed, etc.
Yeah, and how many hours it took for him to take them as well. Some took days. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, such a great guy, and you know, I've got so many fond memories. One of my not my fondest, but one of my fondest memories is over lockdown. We talked quite a lot, and I remember when the new 30 series cards were coming out on PC. Obviously, we're both big PC gamers, and we were just chatting for ages, trying to grab the new cards, you know, on launch. And I remember when the cards came out, he managed to find Scan were doing them at RRP, and he quickly sent me a link so I could buy mine. So my graphics card that's in my PC at the minute is all thanks to Nigel. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and always loads of great memories of playing Battlefield with him online back in the day. And more recently, we got back into Grand Theft Auto 5 a little bit, and we played some online. And there's a little video of me and him on Facebook in the nightclub doing some silly dancing in game, which is really funny. So, and it's always nice to have those fond memories of someone.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, there's nothing else I can say really, guys. I mean, it's awful news, you know, and obviously knowing what he was going through this year and having those conversations, even though I knew all that information, it still was a massive shock over the weekend to find out the news, because, you know, I assumed from what he was saying he'd still be here until early next year, but as I say, it wasn't meant to be, which is awful.
Such a shame, really.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, really. You know, so if any of his family are listening, you know, my sincerest condolences, and you know, we'll try and do him proud.
Yeah.
So we're going to get on with the main show now, as much as we can. Now, it was the Game Awards this past week.
Indeed, yeah.
And
last Thursday.
Yeah, so I've got a little story to tell. So it was on Thursday night, wasn't it? Friday morning in the UK. It was like 1 a.m. or something silly, wasn't it? So I was thinking, I'm not going to watch it till Sunday because we was going to Alton Towers for my boy's 6th birthday. Yeah. However, my car broke down on the way to Alton Towers on Friday and I had to get towed home. So we had to push the visit back a day because we had the hotel booked. So I actually went Saturday to Sunday instead. So watched it Friday, but I didn't actually watch the proper show because it was like 3.5 hours long. So I just watched like a condensed 20-minute video. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. Not really. I thought it was a bit, from what I saw, was a bit, it was all right. I think the highlight was the Alan Wake section where they had the band there and they did the dance. So that looked really cool, and it looked like they all had a really good time with that. But announcement-wise for games, I mean, I'm not really. There's nothing really that stood out to me. I will say that there was a lot of complaints I saw online about not giving the developers much time to do their speeches.
Right.
So I
Didn't
thought
they
that was a
basically
bit.
give them like about a minute?
Yeah, and then they were forcing the music on to get them off the stage, and they had a sign as well
Wrap it
up
up.
saying please wrap it up. Yeah, someone took a photo of it and put it online on the socials, which I think's a bit cheeky, to be honest. It's all of, you know.
The judge can be blamed for that, I suppose.
Now,
he made a little joke about it though, didn't he, during his the handing of the award?
Yeah. What did he say? I can't remember now.
About his speech being longer than the newest Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, yeah. Call of Duty. They didn't like that, did it? Yeah, yeah. All right,
Nice.
so I'm just going to read out what I've got listed on this website that I found. So, they're doing a remake of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yeah, I thought you'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I really love the original game. Came out in 2013. I can't believe it.
Yeah, 360 game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played through that with my missus. Fantastic game. So yeah, that's cool. There's a new game coming out called Pony Island. I'll be excited for that. It looks fucking awful. There's a new game coming out by the Dead Cells people called Motion. Motion Twin stunned the game world with Dead Cells, a 2D roguelike. Windblown. It sounds like one of my farts. Now, yeah, it looks average again. God of War Ragnarok is getting a DLC.
Yeah, it's a roguelike mode, isn't it?
Yeah. So meh again. So there's a lot of mehs here. Hellblade 2 footage was shown. Senua's Sacrifice or Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, shall I say. I wasn't a fan of the first game anyway, so I'm not really that fussed. I know it's quite, a lot of people are looking forward to this. A lot of people like the first game. So that's cool. But for me, I'm just not really that interested. One thing I was interested at was Sega announced 5 games, which were, I think they're sequels or remakes. I'm not quite sure. Shinobi, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Jet Set Radio.
And only a couple of them look good.
Crazy Taxi trailer looked decent, I think.
Yeah, I thought Crazy Taxi looked good. The Jet Set Radio kind of update looked reasonable.
Yeah, the Golden Axe.
The other ones looked kind of shocking.
Yeah, the Golden Axe one's like kind of a 3D version by the looks of it. And I'm can you not just leave things in 2D, man?
And
come on.
Shinobi was basically like a 2D arcade scroller, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, at least if a couple of them are good, then I'm happy. So, Hideo Kojima had a really fucking weird trailer for a new game he's making called OD. It's meant to be a horror game, but all it was a face just talking, and it just looked weird. I think it's meant to be like a AI or a robot or something. Wasn't really sure, but
this is the Microsoft Cloud game, isn't it?
Is it cloud?
He's working on. It's cloud-based. Yeah, it's a cloud-based Microsoft-only game. So I was just like, and thankfully the trailer didn't look great. But we shall see. It could be fantastic. You never know. It's Kojima. He always pulls weird stuff out.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah,
and that's not just his penis. There is a new Blade game coming out by Arcane Studios.
Oh.
So if you like Dishonored, I guess you might like the new Blade game. There was only a little trailer with him having a shave and then walking off, so wasn't really a lot going on there, but looks interesting.
No more than the Wolverine announcement.
Yeah.
They'll be doing like back and forth with their own individual separate licensed titles then, I guess.
Yeah. No Man's Lie is still doing updates. There's an update called To Earth with Light, No Fire. It's a procedurally generated Earth instead of a universe. I think is this a new game?
They did announce. Hello Games did announce a new game. Yeah.
No, it is a new game. Yeah, new game. Sorry, called Light No Fire, which is similar to No Man's Sky, but features a procedurally generated Earth instead of the universe. Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty good actually. It was one of those ones where it starts off and I was like, and then a bit into it, I was like, actually, this could be fun.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, so one thing I was excited for, which I still haven't downloaded actually, was Final Fantasy 16 DLC dropped during the Game Awards. So it's called Echoes of the Fallen, and then there's another DLC. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, and then the next one's out. The Rising Tide is out spring next year. But if you can buy them separate, or if you can just buy the expansion pass and get them both. I think you save $5 if you buy the expansion pass. So I will get the expansion pass, but not yet, because I've got too much to play. But I think in the new year I will get it, to be honest, because I love Final Fantasy 16. So an excuse to play some DLC for it. I am all up for it. So all good.
Nice.
A game that I played in beta about a month or so ago is out proper now. The Finals. It's out on all platforms. Yep. It's free to play. Give it a download and a go. It is good fun. I'm not sure if it's cross-play or not. I think it might be. I've only played it on PC. But it's available on Xbox and PlayStation 5 as well. So,
Oh, cool.
Basically, it's like a free-on-free game, and it's just crazy, silly first-person shooter set up like a game show, and you've got to like get money from a place to a safe, and it's just a lot of fun. I know that Darren was probably excited for this trailer, Monster Hunter Wilds, coming out in 2025.
If I didn't think it was going to be a live service fucking game, which is what I expect, because they did that with. I liked World at the start, but then the more I played of it and the way they delivered content, I was like, this is a games as a service. It's not like a traditional Monster Hunter. And it looks like they're never going to do away with the stupid animals and companions shite. So it's not even like traditional Monster Hunter as it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
I can kind of get it. They have simplified and streamlined some things that were needed. But then, like, they have made the game so much easier with each, like, general iteration. Because you've always got something on you to help draw the monster's attention, rather than you being like the focal point of the attention the whole time.
Yeah. That's fair enough, mate.
But yeah, I'm still looking forward to it, but I just roughly know what I'm going to get: an incomplete game with like treated like an online. Whatchamacallem? I can't remember what they're called. The games that just constantly run online and have content added, like your Fortnites, etc.
Oh, just an always online game. However, I thought you'd be loving Fortnite still, Darren, because I just had some updates. Like a Lego update and some racing add-on or something.
I have played those. I'll talk about those in a little bit.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Apart from that, Prince of Persia had a trailer, and there's a demo coming in January, on January the 11th. I'm just reading through the things here because nothing else really spoke to me that I remember.
There was a really good game by the creators of Ori and the Blind Forest, etc. Is it Moon Studios? They're doing like an ARPG Diablo-esque thing, but the art style was really good.
No Rest for the Wicked, it's called.
That's it, yes. I really like that. I know a friend of mine who was like, nah, but if you think I'm negative about a lot of games, he's far worse.
Oh dear. Yeah, that looks quite pretty actually. Yeah. One thing I've just remembered actually that I got quite excited for was the Jurassic Park game.
Right.
Jurassic
it's
Park
not what
Survival.
I thought it was. Yeah, when someone talked about it, I was like, oh, is it not like the Jurassic Park sort of like building sim game? And he was like, no, it's more like Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
That was how he described it.
They've taken some scenes from the movie as well, I've noticed, because I watched the film the other day with my boy. But I think it's meant to be a sequel to the original film. But it looks quite cool, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah. Warframe had some updates announced. That game is still going. I can't believe it.
Wow.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's having a crossover event with Apex Legends. Fucking ridiculous. Oh, Skull and Bones.
The trailer?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen the new Final Fantasy Rebirth trailer with Vincent and Sid and...
Oh no, I didn't. What's that shown at the Game Awards?
Yeah.
Well, did I watch a really shit 20-minute video then? Because I don't remember.
Well, yeah, they're not going to fit all the trailers in, are they? Like some of the trailers were like minutes long.
I thought it was his theme song announcement trailer. Is that what it was?
It's the song, and then there's like game footage and other bits. So
okay, I'll have to. I'm going to watch it now while we talk.
Live reaction.
Yeah. Looks good. Oh yeah, Bugenhagen looks. He's got legs. What's going on? He didn't have legs in the original game.
He used to float in like a weird little seat, didn't he?
Yeah. Why is? Oh, I don't know what's going on with Zach as well. Come on.
If it followed the main story of 7, I would be a lot more excited than like this weird retelling.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
Like I get some people who be like, "Oh, but you've already played that," and it's like, well, good stories are good stories regardless. Like if someone was to remake a story I liked, I'd want them to actually remake that story I liked rather than making up some new weird hybrid.
Why doesn't Sid have a cigarette in his mouth?
Well, we know why. Modern day.
Oh, it looks like the golden sauce is in it as well then.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, they showed that off in the previous trailer, but yeah, I guess Sid may or may not. They just didn't want to show it in the thing. Plus, I think there's a weird notification that it bumps the age rating up in certain countries if characters smoke.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Right. Whatever next,
mate. I'm not happy with that. Anyway, was there anything else I've missed? Because I'm reading through some stuff and I just don't want to talk about it.
I mean, you can just hammer through into the like the actual winners.
Well, we know that Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year.
That was to be mostly, I think, majoritarily expected.
They also won. It also won the Player's Voice, whatever the fuck that is.
It's basically the only category that people actually truly get to vote on. Because the other categories, the voting's made up of 90% votes from the gaming press. And the industry itself.
Yeah.
which is why certain poor decisions get made when it comes to the votes for some of those other what's it?
Yeah. Best game direction was Alan Wake 2, which, I agree with that. Yeah. Best adaptation, The Last of Us. Oh, that must be TV shows. Okay.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Best narrative, Alan Wake 2. Excellent, yeah. Best
better
art
than any other story narrative throughout the whole year? Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy.
I think it was fucking amazing, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Best art direction, Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 won loads of stuff. Wow.
This is the one I've had arguments with. That game should not be in best art direction. The game has no art fucking direction.
It looks gorgeous, reality. Man. Yeah, it just looks gorgeous.
It's not stylised. That's what it should be about. It should be games that are stylised in a certain art style, and that game is just bog standard horror.
Anyway, let's move on.
When you think of all the other games that have come out that have actually got stylised graphics and a look and an appeal to them, that does not stand out in the fucking slightest.
Anyway, I'm going to move on.
Complete bullshit on that one.
Best music and score, Final Fantasy 16.
This is one I agree with.
Right.
Yeah, great music. Best audio design, Hi-Fi Rush. That's good. Yeah. Best performance, Neil Newbon, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm guessing that's like voice acting and stuff.
Yeah, he played the sort of vampire character.
Yeah. Innovation in accessibility, Forza Motorsport. What? What's that then? If anyone can play it, I'm guessing.
Basically giving people like all of the sort of accessibility options, like adding things like mode for colourblind people, people who can't use regular controllers, etc.
Okay. Games for Impact, Tachia. That's a good game, that, actually. My little boy.
Yeah, that's the category for like social justice games.
Yeah, I thought so. But it's still a good game, though. Best ongoing game, Cyberpunk 2077.
See, I call bullshit on this. It's not an ongoing game. It's just a game that's been fixed.
I think Final Fantasy 14 should have won that, but yeah. Best community support, Baldur's Gate 3. Okay. Best indie game, Sea of Stars. Definitely agree with that. Amazing game.
So that did actually win something. I wasn't too sure if it did or not.
Best debut indie game, Cocoon. Yeah, it was alright. Best mobile game, Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, that's not a bad phone game. Best VR game, Resident Evil Village. VR mode.
That I kind of agree with.
Best action game, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. I think Remnant 2 should have won that. And I'll talk about Remnant 2 in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Best action adventure game, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. What? Ugh.
That's fair.
Yeah, shit,
it was up
mate.
for Game of the Year and all the rest of it, so... It just came out quite early in the year, didn't it? So a lot of people...
It was meh. Where are we? Best RPG, Baldur's Gate 3, not surprised. Best fighting game, Street Fighter 6.
This was another one I was actually shocked by. I was expecting it to go to something stupid like Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl or something else that's not even a fighting game.
Well, it was in the contenders for it.
Yeah. Well, there was that year, wasn't there, where like fucking Multiversus won or something, and it's like, that's fuck off.
Yeah. Best family game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yeah, not surprised at that. Best sim strategy game, Pikmin 4. Best sports racing game. What? Forza Motorsport won best sports game. Come on, have a word.
There hasn't been many else this year, though, has there, in theory?
Yeah, but they launched like a bag of shit. Like, and it won best sports game. I mean, you're fighting against your FIFAs, F1, Hot Wheels, and the crew there. Wow. Okay. Best multiplayer, Baldur's Gate 3. Really?
See, that to me is like, what the fuck?
It's not really a proper.
Out of all the games that have come out, that's the best multiplayer game of the year.
I think
which is basically a single-player game with multiplayer options.
Yeah.
Like Diablo 4 is a better multiplayer game than that, and it's not really even truly a multiplayer game.
And Diablo 4 was in the nominations. Well, most anticipated game, I definitely agree with the winner of this one, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
There was a lot of weird stuff in the category, though. There were so many omissions from that category of most anticipated game. I was just like, really? This is what the best you can come up with?
Yeah. Where are we? Don't care about that. Best esports game, Valorant. Yeah. We'll skip past all the esports shit.
Yeah, and no one cares about any of that. Yeah.
Player's Voice, Baldur's Gate 3. So that's the game that the players...
Didn't it used to be like the Player's Choice Award rather than Player's Voice?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Wow. Cool.
Cool. Another year of the Game Awards down. It always seems to go on for sort of like way too long, in my opinion.
Well, 3.5 hours is way too long for a fucking award show. That's insane.
Especially when it's on at like 1 a.m. for most people who don't live in America.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they should do it earlier in the day. I know it's in America, but come on.
What was the... there must have been some bullshit, because like every Game Awards is like, oh, here's the new film trailer from something or other. That no one's really that particularly interested in at the time.
No, I mean, I'd say I didn't watch the full show, so I wouldn't really know, mate. I've not seen anything online about anything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to talk about games played then, because it's been a little while, hasn't it?
Indeed it has.
Now, I have taken out... I'm not going to talk about everything I've played, because...
No, I'll slim it down a bit.
I'd be here forever otherwise. But the other thing that was announced, shown, that we haven't talked about, was the GTA 6 trailer.
Yes.
And that was... I think that came out... I think it was the day before the Game Awards. I think.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Now... I am excited. Now, it's only in a 1 minute, 30-second video, but there was quite a lot to digest on this video. I think I watched it 4 or 5 times, and then I watched a breakdown video as well. Now, it's set in Vice City, which we haven't been to for a long time. It looks gorgeous. How much of this is gonna... if it's actually going to look like this in, during gameplay, I'm going to be really impressed, because it looks amazing and there's a lot going on.
There's a lot
with the crowds and stuff.
Density where I was kind of like, if you can have the beach looking and running like that, then hats off to you. Yeah. That's why I sort of joked, because obviously everyone liked the trailer until the very end bit. Because I think everyone was kind of like, this is going to be next year, isn't it? It's got to be next year if they're showing the trailer finally. And then it's like 2025. And I was like, oh, right, so they're waiting for the PS5 Pro to come out then. But the game's ready.
Yeah. So now the thing that we can glean from this is there looks to be 2 playable characters, a female and a male.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde vibe going on. The lady starts off in jail, so I'm guessing in the beginning of the game she's in jail, comes out, and then they start, doing Grand Theft Auto stuff. But the thing that I took out from the trailer, and I don't know if you guys did as well, was just how well they seem to have captured the modern era in regards to social media.
Yeah.
Because everything that was going on in the trailer was women doing that stupid twerking.
Yeah.
And then lots of things about, kind of like the Instagram copy of like getting hearts and live streaming, all this stupid shenanigans going on, yeah. So they managed to capture the stupidity of social media down to a T. I think anyway. So yeah, it's just like a kind of it's just a slice of this time period. You'll look back at this in like 20 years when you're playing it again and be like, yeah, we were fucking idiots back then. But I think it, I thought it was a really good trailer, to be fair, because it gave you a really good insight into what the game's going to be like, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts, guys?
How do you feel about it?
Oh, sorry, Karen.
Sorry, I was going to say, how do you feel about it not coming out on PC initially?
Oh, it doesn't bother me, mate. No
Rockstar game has it? I don't think. They always launch on console about a year before.
Yeah, I mean, GTA 5 was the same. I mean, it doesn't really bother me because I've got consoles, so I'll just get it on Xbox, right? Because I was saying, I was talking to someone the other day about this, and I was like, oh, I'm actually quite glad it's coming out on console only to begin with, because then I don't have an excuse to spend a fuckload of money on upgrading my PC to make it look amazing, So I'm actually quite pleased. So, yeah. But, no, it looks good. So off the back of that, I've actually played a little bit of GTA 5 again this week.
Yeah.
Just the online. And, I think GTA 5, for a game that's 10 years old, still looks gorgeous. It looks better than a lot of games that come out now, So that's pretty impressive. But I've also I downloaded Grand Theft Auto 4 onto my Steam Deck. And I've been replaying Grand Theft Auto 4. And, I remember playing that originally on the Xbox 360. It's a fucking really old game. And what we're saying about that slice of time is perfect, because in Grand Theft Auto 4, you don't have any internet on your phone. You have to go to an internet cafe to do your internet stuff in game. You have your mobile on it, but it's like a basic one in the game, because that's kind of that slice of that time period, right? And it's really enjoyable. I'm actually really enjoying playing through Grand Theft Auto 4 again, because I'm playing it on the Steam Deck. It's quite a small screen. The game still looks pretty decent, to be honest. So I'm really enjoying playing through that again. Because it's been so long as well, I've forgotten the whole story. So I'm going through the main campaign, and then I'm going to go and do the DLCs again as well. The Ballad of Gay Tony and The Lost and the Damned.
Yeah.
Great game, mate. Absolutely great game. I remember absolutely loving it back in the day. So
how does the driving hold up? Because the driving really put me off it when I played it originally.
It's not great. I'm not going to lie. It's not great. You compare that to GTA 5. There's a huge difference. Power sliding, handbrake turning around corners is fucking dog awful. Cornering's not great, but the rest of the game is a lot of fun. So and the other thing was that I've played through the main campaign of GTA 5 like 3 times, so I don't really want to go through it again. I would love to do the GTA 5 online with some people in the community, if people are around to do it with.
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm playing it on PC, so I do have it on Xbox as well. But
yeah, I think everybody should have access to it, because I think it is now on Game Pass.
Fantastic. So that'd just be great, because there's some heists I haven't done and other bits and pieces. It's just a good laugh, So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, those are 2 games off my list already. We'll go down to you, Graham.
I have been playing a game that you actually mentioned in regard to the Game Awards, mainly because I heard somebody, well, I've heard it mentioned on a couple of podcasts, but I gave Hi-Fi Rush a bit of a try.
Oh, nice.
I'm only, I don't know, I suppose I'm about half a dozen hours in, 6 or 8 hours in. And it's a very interesting concept. It's a Bethesda game, but it's by a studio who I've never heard of before, whose name I actually can't remember at the moment.
Studio Tango, is it? Tango something or other?
Yes, someone like that. Yeah, but it's kind of a cell shaded rhythm action platforming beat 'em up. So
Yeah.
you constantly have a soundtrack going in the background, and you have your heavy attack and you have your light attack. So your light attack, if you can do it on the beat, does more damage. But obviously your heavy attack takes twice as long to swing, so you have to time it every other beat for your heavy attacks. But it's sort of like a platform exploration game as well with combat. And it's a strange game, but it knows exactly what it wants to be, and everything sort of works together, and the soundtrack is great, and every time it introduces a new mechanic, it takes you off to a little sort of arena, and it just sort of explains it to you, and then it gets you to do it until you kind of get the knack of it. So it's yeah, it's sort of quite a unique experience. But if you're into that rhythm action sort of genre, then it's definitely worth a look because it's a bit different.
Yeah, I remember when it shadow dropped earlier on in the year, and I enjoyed playing it at the time. I never finished it.
Yeah.
I just got a bit bored of it after a while, to be honest, but that's just me.
Yeah, I can maybe see it perhaps might get a bit samey after a while, but it does a few things stylistically where it's kind of a third person platform game, but then every so often it will basically switch as if it's like a 2D platform game,
Hmm.
and it will give you sections where you have to sort of jump and avoid obstacles and get to the end of the level. But it's um it's certainly a very sort of polished looking game, definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it
no,
is.
it's
It's
on Game
gorgeous.
Pass, and I thought I'd give it a go. Really
Awesome, mate. Awesome. What about you then,
cool.
Darren?
Yeah.
I've played another game that is actually sort of available on Game Pass,
Oh,
still currently at the moment. I didn't play it through Game Pass. I picked up a physical copy, obviously.
as you
Um,
do.
Lies of P.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's one of my games I can knock off my list then.
This is fucking fantastic game.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It's probably the best Souls-like I have ever played.
I could
In
name
my
you one
general
better, which
opinion.
I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, go on.
No, I've played that as well. It's not as good as this. Technically, it is in a quote way because you can co-op in that one. This
Yeah,
you can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just literally a solo sort of game. But I think most of you have got Game Pass, have played this already. It's
Yeah.
like a weird take on the tale of Pinocchio.
Yes.
But it's set in like almost like this not cyberpunk, steampunk
Yeah.
kind of thing. The way I described it in our chat earlier in the week was, to me, this is Bioshock Infinite meets Bloodborne,
Yeah.
wrapped in like a sort of fairy tale and fables and stuff. I think the visual style and the aesthetic of the game is 10 out of 10. Like I absolutely love it. The creature designs, the world designs.
Yeah.
It's got pretty much everything that people like from the Souls games, where you're going out, you're fighting your enemies, you're collecting your different currency to enable you to level up and do other bits and bobs. You're unlocking shortcuts that give you quicker ways to navigate around the levels. You got obviously tough, challenging bosses, weird, messed up storylines and stuff going on in the background, and the whole game just feels incredibly responsive as well. Like when it actually comes to the crispness and the feel of the combat. Whereas I do, even with some of the Souls games and that, I find them sluggish sometimes. Well, I suppose it depends on what weapons I'm using. But on this, it feels like I've got more control over what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm about 23 hours into it or something. I've been taking my time with it, fair enough, but I'm about halfway through the game.
I think it took Peebs about 50 hours to finish.
It wouldn't surprise me, because some of the areas you do sort of tread quite carefully through, because you just you might be on a limb of health or whatever, and you just I just need to get around the next corner to see if I can get to the next thing to open a shortcut. So if I do go, it does go tits up, I can at least get back here without having to fight for all that again. And obviously you're learning the different attack patterns of the different enemies, and you start to be like, that's an arsehole, he's like target A, I'll get rid of him, etc.
Yeah. And another thing about it is it's got multiple endings as well.
Yes, which is like a typical thing for a Souls game anyway. I mean, there's a lot of mechanics going on under the hood in this game. Yeah. So you've got your different weapon types, which is like a standard for a Soul. So you've got like your faster single-bladed or handed weapons. You've got like your dual wields. You've got the heavy blunts, etc. But you can change the handle and the blades out and mix and match them, because each of them have fable arts, which is like special moves attached to them that do different things. You also have your Legion arm, which is like your puppet arm, which you can unlock multiple versions of those of and level them up. You've got something called your is it P Hearts or something like that?
Yeah.
Where you basically pick up these really rare items that you can use to upgrade that, and you choose different effects to slot into the different bits and bobs. Recently I've been harvesting golden coin fruit, which you can then use that as a currency to buy certain abilities for a wish stone that you'll get about sort of like just before midway through the game. There's just a lot here. And like even with your equipment, you get different little things you can equip. Obviously the better ones weigh you down and you don't want to end up fat rolling, so you've got weight management. It has the traditional classic of when you fell a boss, you kind of get like a version of their soul that you can crush for points, but you never want to do that in these games because you can usually trade them in for special weapons. And on this, it doesn't just let you trade them in for special weapons. You can maybe just trade it in for a special amulet instead, or a brooch, or whatever it is, that does really cool effects as well. So you've got a choice there. Do you want the weapon or do you want the brooch? But then if you're going through multiple playthroughs, you might want to get certain things out of the way beforehand, like get all weapons, kind of a thing. There's other parts of the game as well that I didn't actually even realise have underlying tones to the movement of the story.
Okay.
So at different parts of the game, you're given the choice to either tell the truth or lie.
Yes.
This doesn't actually just affect the game, it affects your character as well.
Right.
So the more things you do in the game, you start to regain humanity. And this will even include stuff like, I don't know if any of you have collected records before.
Yeah.
Right.
But certain quests will give you items that you can take back to your hub area, and you can play them on a gramophone.
Yeah, that's right.
And the music in this game is fantastic as well, I might add.
Yeah.
Like, really fits the mood. And listening to the music all the way through will also increase your humanity.
Mm-hmm.
As obviously you start to take appreciation for like the arts and things like that. Things that kind of stir emotions in people.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. Like this game, this is a real for a Game Pass game that was a day one. This is a definite winner.
It is definitely up there for Game of the Year contenders, I think.
Yeah, it's since I played it, it may well have reached into my sort of like top games of the year.
But fuck me, it's hard.
It can and can't be.
And some of the bosses are redonkulous, man.
I've died on bosses twice to get to the point where I am now. But I have been very lucky, and this is a game that I will say use a lot of the items you get. Like your consumables, your throwables, that kind of thing. They are all extremely useful. As is kind of figuring out what the best items are to go into a fight. So, like one of your earliest budges you'll pick up is obviously something that increases your damage against puppets.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on in the game, you don't fight puppets, so you're not really going to want or need that badge.
Right.
So why use an equip slot and wait on something that's not going to have any effect? You might as well switch it out for something else. And different equipment you get gives you different protection against different types of attack, be it piercing, heavy, like blunt, etc. So if you know what kind of weapons and stuff your opponent has, just gear yourself up to give you the most defense against what you're fighting. It helps with all of your survivability. But as we know, the game can go from hell to a handbasket pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of like, oh, what's this enemy? I haven't fought you before. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Heal. Oh, yeah. Get through that fight and you're like down to like maybe 1 or 2 healables out of like 6 or 7. You're like, oof.
Yeah.
Also, I've heard from someone at work who's played this, don't worry about if you've kind of chosen a few of the wrong things early on in the game, because a bit later on you will get the option to actually respec all different aspects of your character. So you'll be able to redo your skill points that you've put into your stats. You'll be able to redo the different skills that you've set to your P organ, and also refund and change your Legion arm upgrades and stuff as well if you think you've upgraded the wrong versions of those.
Oh, right.
So you're never sort of locked into, obviously, the choices you've made. You are for a specific amount of time, but after a while you'll be able to change it all back if that's what you want to do.
I think I need
and this
to go
obviously
back to
helps for it obviously helps for different play styles and things as well. Because I like the way that in this every single weapon feels completely different from the other one. So you can pick up a great sword and you're like, don't particularly like this, but then you'll use another great sword and it's got a completely different series of attack moves, and you're like, this feels a bit lighter, it attacks a bit quicker, the swings have got more of an arc to it, so it's more likely to hit the opponent, etc. But it does kind of rely quite a bit on a parry system, not too unsimilar to Sekiro in a way, where being able to sort of do like a perfect parry on certain enemies will give you a good advantage, because you'll all know that they eventually start glowing red and doing unblockable attacks which need the perfect parry to avoid if you can't sidestep or run around them.
Interesting.
But yeah, I won't waste any more time on it. I'm sure everyone's kind of played it. Who has Game Pass? And if you
I don't think many people have actually, looking at the Discord, to be honest. So
if you haven't played it and you've got Game Pass, just try it over Christmas and give it a go.
Yeah.
Like I don't gel with every time kind of Souls-like. There's a few that I click with and quite a few I don't. I clicked with this one.
Awesome.
And don't worry, I will say one thing as well quickly. If you're in the first area and you play like I do with a lot of these games, I'll usually go in, do the first area and go round it a few times to grab some stuff and level up a bit. There is a point when you hit a cap and the game doesn't actually let you level up anymore, but you need to make it to the main hub area. Once you've made it to the main hub area, you can level up there.
Right.
And another little tip, if you teleport back to your hub area, go outside to the training area, it refills all of your Fable Arts. Those do not go back down when you go back in and teleport away. You'll keep that charge.
Well, there you go.
So if you always want to go into a fight with your fully charged Fable Arts and etc., then you can just do that.
Brilliant.
Once you've unlocked the different stargazers, etc. But I'm quite fascinated with the whole sort of weird story and lore and everything that's kind of going on as well.
Yeah.
With it all.
Nice.
There's little hints to other fairy tales in it. I mean, my character at the moment's wearing like emerald glasses that apparently reveal illusions. They don't in the game, it's just a flavour text, but it's obviously a nod to like the Wizard of Oz and the Emerald City.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
It is good. It is a good game, man. It is great. All right, I'm going to move on then. Another game that I've been playing and I've actually completed in this past week. Well, a couple of weeks took me to complete it, really. It was a game that I was actually going to buy when it was on sale, and I held off, and then it shadow dropped onto Game Pass. Remnant 2.
Yes.
This game, I fucking love this game. There was a point about a week or so ago where I was so hooked on it that I was playing it on my PC, then going downstairs and playing it on my Xbox, and then when I didn't have access to the telly, I was streaming it via the cloud onto my Steam Deck. So I pumped quite a lot of hours into it. I actually completed it, but I think the only reason I managed to complete it was because I played it pretty much in co-op the whole time. So you can have up to 3-player co-op. I actually, unfortunately, and this makes me quite sad, didn't actually get to play it co-op with anyone from the community at all.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I have it on a different platform, so I'm not too sure if it does allow.
No,
cross-play.
It doesn't do cross-play, which is shit. Yeah. But I thought, it hit Game Pass, and no fucker in the Discord or anything was even playing it from what I could see or on my friends list. So I was just like, right, I'm just going to join random people's games or get random or leave my game public. Now the cool thing about it is, even though it's not cross-play, right? Whenever I opened up my game public, I had another 2 people in my game within 10 to 20 minutes, which was really good. Or when I was streaming to my Steam Deck and I didn't want to concentrate, I just joined random people's games, and that was a good way of leveling up, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I wanted to say was, the only annoying thing was, so there's a few classes in it, but the class that I wanted is only in the deluxe edition, which you have to buy, and that's the gunslinger. So I didn't get to be...
I think you can unlock him through gameplay, though, can't you?
Yeah, well, you got to talk to some old bloke about 500 times to unlock it, and I couldn't be asked. So what I did was I rocked a rifle and a pistol, but I managed to save up for the clothing that looked like a gunslinger with the hat and the cape, so I was pretty much there anyway, to be honest. But I love this game, and it's like a Dark Souls-ish game, but you have guns. You do have a melee weapon as well. Yeah. But what I really like about it is I felt like this game is proper sci-fi in regards to, you have this, stuff happens, and then you have this like crystal portal thing, and it takes you to like these completely different worlds. And apparently your starting world can be randomly assigned.
Yeah, I started in a different zone to my friend. So
yeah. So the first zone that I played through was kind of like a Bloodborne type world. So it's all like run down city, really beautiful architecture, etc., etc. Really, really cool. And then you had like one which was all lush and green world with all these fucking weird monsters. And there's like some futuristic sci-fi worlds in there, etc. Anyway, I just really enjoyed it. I thought, you know, I mean, I know it's been a really good year for video games. Don't get me wrong, but this Remnant 2 has been such a highlight to me for this year, purely because I think it would have been even higher if I'd played with a couple of people that I knew and run through the whole campaign with friends. But you know, we're old and boring, right? We can't do that these days. But you know, had a really good time with it. You know, not having to really concentrate on a story too much. I know there's one kind of there, but I wasn't really paying a lot of attention. It was just more the exploration, the variety of enemies. I really enjoyed the level design of all the worlds because they all seem to link up like a proper Dark Souls game. You'll go the long way round somewhere and then you'll open up a shortcut and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm back to the beginning again. And then when you go back, that's unlocked and you can do some farming, etc. You know, some of the story I did pay attention to and I thought, oh, this is actually quite cool. But more of it for me was just the gameplay of, you know, the different weapons that you can use and the melee and just the dodging and, you know, having those heated battles where, you know, you're thinking that you're going to not make it, but when you're in co-op, you have different, you know, people are different classes. So you could have like a medic class, you know, like a ranger long range class and kind of a tanky kind of guy. And then when you level up even more, you can have your character can be split into two classes. So I was like
like a hybrid.
Yeah, so I was like a ranger medic guy. So, but it was really cool because then you had two lots of specials. So, you know, I could throw down like a green area of healing stuff for myself and my crew, but then also chuck down like a load of caltrops as well, which would slow the enemies down and injure them. So that came in handy when you're overwhelmed. So, so that was really cool. I did notice though that the people that joined me with the class where you had the dog.
I had that one. Yeah, that's the one I chose.
That seems like a really good class because the dog can heal you, which is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Even when you're downed
or something a bit later on. Yeah,
because I noticed even when they got downed, the dog came and healed and picked them up. So that's really cool. I think that's that's probably the best class in the game from what I've been reading and talking to people. So, I'm really surprised it hit Game Pass, to be honest, because I didn't think it would be, because it's actually been quite a popular game this year.
Yes, it was. I think you can tell how popular certain games are when it comes to sort of like the Black Friday sales and stuff. And if the game doesn't dip below, like, say, 35 quid, you know, it still sells pretty well.
Yeah.
And holds its value.
Yeah, so because about a week or two before it hit Game Pass, I was almost about to buy it. And then,
but I will say it's kind of like it wasn't a full price title anyway when it came out, Remnant. It was like a 40-45 quid.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, so, but no, it's definitely a highlight for me. I know a few people bought it at launch and when it came out were raving about it in the Discord. But I was just being tight and didn't want to buy it. So I'm really glad it come to Game Pass, man, because it is such a good game. And I think, you know, it's just giving the opportunity for more people to play it. If anyone wants to do co-op on it at some point and wants some help, just message me. I'm more than happy to jump back on it. It's such a good game, man. It really is. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's all I want to say on it, really. Remnant 2, well worth your time. The only negative I will say, there's one big negative, before I sign off on this game. No crossplay. In this day and age, no fucking crossplay is awful. You know, it's a shame because our community is quite fractured between different systems,
platforms. Yeah.
Like D Twin has rinsed it on PS5, absolutely rinsed it. And he was up for doing some co-op, but obviously he's got it on the PlayStation, so we couldn't do that. So sad face. Anyway, we're going to move on. Back to you, Graham.
Well, I played a game this week. I've been a fan of this company's games before, and I saw this was coming to Game Pass, but I have tried Steam World Build.
Oh, I've played this.
I had the original PS4, and I think it actually came out on the Vita as well. And that was kind of like a Dig Dug RPG is the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
And then they did another one called SteamWorld Heist, which was like a turn-based platform game, but with sort of like combat. It was like defeating space pirates on your ship. So I was curious about this one because all their games have stylistically been quite different. And I thought I'd give this one a try. And this is kind of like, it's kind of like a Civilization clone.
Right.
So
it
is
fully, it's like base building and stuff.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, but it's fully 3D, but in the same sort of design aesthetic in that all of your characters are robots. You kind of get like pensioners who are robots and kids who are robots. So do you know what I mean? It's that sort of slightly ridiculous setting, but you have to basically build your town, keep your workers happy. I haven't played this for an enormous number of hours. I'm probably only about 4 or 5 hours in, so I'm sort of still finding my way with it. But it does do a couple of things on controller, which when you get this sort of game on a console, I start to worry about how it's going to work with controls. Do you know what I mean?
Interface,
when you've got to be, but the interface is quite well designed in that when you pick a path, you kind of hint where you want to drag it, and you can basically, if you sort of do a fairly logical start point and a fairly logical end point, 9 times out of 10, the path it's going to draw for you is quite sensible. So you don't have to physically lay each block for a path. So you can kind of just press and drag, and then it'll kind of like show it as checkered. And then you just select the endpoint and hit the apply button, and it will basically build all the points in between.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
But it's quite nice. It looks quite nice. Again, I haven't spent an enormous amount of time with it, but it's sort of a bit of a different proposition for Game Pass, and there aren't many of these sort of RPG strategy builder games on the consoles at all, really. But no, I'm going to carry on with it, and it does have obviously your resource management, your financial, trying to keep the people in your town happy and contented and giving them what they want. So yeah, I've just sort of really only scratched the surface, but it's quite interesting, and I think it's worth a bit of a look.
Nice.
And again, I mean, any of the previous games are good.
Quite popular, the Steam World games.
Yeah,
I love the very first one. Yeah, so I sort of they've been on my radar, and I saw it was coming, and I thought I'll give that a try. But no, it's definitely worth a bit of a try anyway.
Nice.
Cool.
Back to you, Darren.
Well, I might as well briefly talk about the Fortnite bits and bobs. So I couldn't get online to play my usual Fortnite on the day of the event because they shut like Save the World off, so they can free up server space for their big event. So it was like the Eminem concert thing.
Right.
And you kind of were sitting by a rocket. The rocket shoots off into the sky and sort of creates like a fracture and fusion you get sucked into. And what we didn't realise at the time was this event was kind of like a ginormous advert for what was coming soon. So you get sucked through the sort of the rift with your party of people you're randomly shoved in with. And then we all spawned into like a Lego world. And we were basically taking on this tour through this sort of like Lego world. Then after that, we were racing on the tour, basically hanging onto the top of racing cars while they went round a track. And then after that, Eminem finally appears on stage. And while he was doing his track, you were basically interacting like Rock Band.
Oh, weird.
All three of these game modes have now been added to Fortnite as permanent additions. So you can now go in and you can play like it's kind of like a Minecraft mode, but with Lego.
Right.
So you can like build houses, go out, hunt monsters, etc., gather like lumber from chopping down trees, all of that kind of stuff, but it's all done in like a Lego style to make it obviously more sort of child friendly and give it its own look. The racing mode they've added is, I think it's tied in with Rocket League in a way, but it's Rocket Racing rather than actually like the team sort of football style thing. It is actually like proper races. So you're actually like racing race cars around all these tracks, and you've got like abilities like boost, and you can like flip up onto the ceiling at certain points on the tracks, etc. But the one that I've ended up putting quite a bit of time into is this Rock Band mode. Now I wasn't actually aware that Epic Games actually acquired Harmonix.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually using a lot of the Rock Band stuff. So the stars I was getting for finishing the tracks and all of that kind of stuff was like straight out of Rock Band. And they slowly introduced each of these game modes over a few days. So like first off it was the Lego, then the racing, and then I think the Fortnite Festival, which is the Rock Band mode, came on the Saturday. And with each one, the shop's inventory went up because usually you just buy skins for your character, etc. So the first thing you noticed was when you bought skins for your character, it would show you like the Lego version of the same character. So you can take all of your regular characters and stuff, and well, most of them. There's certain ones that aren't actually available. They then started selling cars in the shop, and as of the addition of the Rock Band one, you can buy music. So you can buy songs to play in the Rock Band mode. But what I haven't actually tried is like there's a jam mode in the game that apparently takes the tracks that you own or you buy and breaks them down into like separate little parts of the track that you can perform at will as like emotes.
Right.
And you can have different people on stage with the different songs, blending their songs and tracks over each other to create their own weird, funky remixes and music. Which is actually, again, quite a reasonably decent little thing that they added in. So, yeah, the only downside to it is it obviously has increased the file size of the game. Because there's now like 3 brand new game modes all slapped in on top. But they did actually put a statement out the other day saying that these aren't limited time events. They are actually now full additions to the game itself.
Wow.
So they are basically turning Fortnite into like a gaming platform per se, which will cater for a lot of different types of game, and most of your stuff from each of those game modes will carry over into other game modes associated with the whole system.
I just don't know if I could bring myself to download it, man. I just remember it because it came out in 2017.
I mean, I would say do it just so you can get your lad to try the Lego thing out.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because I remember Colin. Do you remember Colin was really into Fortnite back in the day?
Yeah, Colin and his two lads.
Yeah, and then we all just moved back over to COD, but I don't know. I've called it Fortnite for so long. I don't know if I could bring myself to do it. But that Lego thing does look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more people playing that Lego mode than there is any of the other game modes. I think when I checked over the weekend, at one point there was like 2.5 million people playing just the Lego mode alone.
Wow.
About another 500,000 playing the Rock Band mode. About the same playing the Rocket Racing thing. And that was not even counting the people playing Battle Royale, Zero Build, and Save the World.
Isn't it? Is it cross-play Fortnite or not? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's full cross-play across everything. Yeah, Switch nice. Even as well.
Oh, wow. God, I haven't played it in so many years. Pardon, mate. Oh, fuck, I'm going to download it on my PC. Fuck it, I'm going to be a loser.
Just download it onto something that you don't mind your kids mucking about with.
Well, I'll be
my Xbox. You don't mind, like, say like sticky fingers or crisp fingers touching your thing.
Yeah, but me and Marcus could play it together.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if one of you's on one thing and one on the other, but you might not be able to. You'd probably need your own separate accounts and stuff, wouldn't you? You'd still have your Epic account still, but
yeah, I could make him a. Well, he's got his own gamer tag on the Xbox, so.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. You just need to register him for an Epic, and off you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be pretty. Like, I think the release timing for it is pretty good as well. Like coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of kids on their Christmas holidays, etc.
Yeah. Oh, cool, mate. No,
and that's there's also like they've added recently, I think within the last 5 or 6 months anyway, like a load of like tools where you can create your own game modes and stuff in the game anyway.
That's quite cool.
So there have been people that have made like first-person shooters and other weird things in it using obviously their engine, etc.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
So rather than having Epic have its Epic Game Store, it's having its basically its Epic fucking world.
Didn't Fortnite have an update on PC with like ray tracing as well? I'm sure I read that somewhere.
It has had like upgrades to the graphics engine and stuff over time, yes. So it does look more polished than it did on release all those years ago.
Yeah.
Because they obviously went to Unreal Engine, whatever it is now. 5, is it?
Yes.
I mean, I will chuck in one thing. The person who made the new inventory select screen across all of the modes, that is fucking awful.
Oh, dear.
It's absolutely dreadful. So it's like you used to save a preset, so it'd be your character, your backpack, your pickaxe, your music that you want playing in the background, the different emotes for the character that you want selected at a time. And now they're all separate save slots. So rather than just pushing one button and like loading up everything you want, you now have to go through about 4 or 5 different menus trying to find everything that's saved to that character's slot. And not all of them have been saved. A load of them have kind of just disappeared into the ether. So you'd have to reconfigure and resave them again.
Yeah.
Like, I just wish they'd stop bringing people in from fucking Make-A-Wish or something to give them gaming ideas. Because that literally was like when the whole thing went down, that entire aspect went down with like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
And everyone was hoping, like, oh, when the next update comes out, they should change that. No, they haven't. They still haven't yet. But yeah, that's the only downside to it. I would say is like the new locker system is absolutely dreadful. Like if that person worked for me at a company, they'd have had their drawers cleaned out and they'd have been out by the end of the week, guaranteed.
Wow.
Nice.
But yeah, back to you.
Okay, so I've been playing a game called My Time at Sandrock, which is the sequel to a game called My Time at Portia. If any of you have played that, it is available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I'm playing it on PC because I'm playing it on the Steam Deck. It's kind of what it's called. It's one of those cozy games. That's what they call them now. Is a cozy game. So basically, it's a bit like Stardew Valley, but in 3D. But it has a bit more to it in regards to exploration and a little bit more story. Because it's not just you building a farm in the desert. There's and crops and raising animals and all that. There's lots of customization, so you can customize your house, make more buildings, etc. Customize all the interior of your home. But it isn't a good farming / cozy game without having to mine the materials yourself and then make them with lots of weird and wacky contraptions. So you have like a kiln, a workbench, and various other devices for you to make your objects that you need to make. So it does take a bit of time, but that's the whole point of the game. It's a bit time consuming, but as you're making these things, you go around and do quests for the villagers, and you get level points for like how friendly you are, like little hearts to show how good friends you are with certain people. And it's just a well-designed area because you've got like a big desert area, but then the town is quite nice. There's a little train track with a cute train that goes past every now and again. That's actually how you get into the game in the first place, into the area.
Right.
And create your character. It's a little bit like Animal Crossing, actually. It really is. It is like a cross between Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, to be honest. The only thing it doesn't have is multiplayer, so it's all just you on your own. But it is pretty chill to play. So the reason I picked it up on Steam was so I could play it on my Steam Deck. Because one of those perfect kind of games that you can just chill out on the sofa and play while you got a bit of telly on in the background as well. So, I'm enjoying it. It's about 20 quid. It's very cutesy wootsy, but it's just a bit of a time killer game, really, to be honest. It's just cool to see your farm grow, your house get bigger, and just doing all the chill stuff that you want to do, you know what I mean? So I've played it for about 12 hours and I've only just kind of scratching the surface with the game. I've seen some Steam reviews saying that people played it for like 200 hours and are still going.
Wow.
Because there's just so much to do, because there is a lot to do, because it isn't just farming, as I say, it's all the building of things that you can do, and the leveling up, because you get better equipment to build better things as you're going on, and it's just takes time to do everything, but it's cool because you have stamina, and then you run out of stamina, you go to bed, and it's the next day, then you carry on and doing other bits and bobs. So there's fishing in it as well, and other activities too. So it's a good little game. It really, really is. So if you're after like a kind of a chill game, it's definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Back to you, Graham.
Well, I haven't been playing much else really, apart from a bit of Diablo as usual.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm still playing Power Wash Simulator.
Nice.
And I've become a little bit obsessed. I have now unlocked literally every sort of upgrade that there is to upgrade now, I think.
Oh, wow.
I've upgraded the top level power washer, and I think I'm probably only about 2 or 3 hours away from the end. But like you, for me, this is my cozy game.
Yeah.
What I do is I'll stick it on a Saturday evening, and I don't know, I'll stick a pizza in the oven, pop open a can, and it's one of those that you can put the controller down because nobody's going to shoot you, or you're not going to get, you're not going to lose any life when you're not looking at the screen. Do you know what I mean? It's just 100% chilled. But no, I'm actually so intrigued with this. I'm tempted when I finish it to go and buy all the DLC for it.
Nice. Yeah, there is some
No,
Final
it's
Fantasy
just
VII DLC on that. I think that's free
I've
though.
done that. It
Yeah.
is free, and I've done it actually.
What about the
Nice.
Lara Croft one? That was another one, wasn't it, that they did?
Yes, I'm yet to do that, but this is just one of them games that I can just play, and you can just sort of you can just
Switch off.
your brain off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And and it's if you've had a day at work where it's been a bit stressful, come back, stick it on, and you don't have to think about it really.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to sort of wind down. But like I said, it's one of them chill games that you can play while you're having a beer, or you can have the music on in the background, or you can sort of be half watching the telly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got obsessed with it, and I think my daughter's a bit obsessed with it as well now, because when she comes to visit me, she has to put it on and play it as well.
Oh wow.
But no, it's it's on Game Pass, and it's one of those, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. I reckon I'll probably last for an hour and then switch it off, and then here I am about 3.5, 4 weeks later, still playing the damn thing. So
Wow.
obviously, it's got that hook for me. It's just one of those things that just appeals to me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But no, that's it really. That's about all I've played.
Okay. Fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
What about you, Darren? Anything else, mate?
I'll just briefly talk about Street Fighter 6, or the new sort of Christmassy season thing on that is underway, I think, until the 22nd.
Okay.
So I busted that on, finished off the World Tour mode. Or the main story of it, anyway. There is actually extra stuff that unlocks after you've finished that sort of main story part. And use that to sort of like boost up my battle pass like all the way to the end. So that sort of got that out of the way at the same time as well. So it was cool. They added the new costumes.
Oh yeah.
And there has kind of been a little bit of, I wouldn't say controversy, but like moaning about the pricing for them. So you can only buy these costumes through the in-game currency.
Yeah.
And there's no bundle. So I think someone worked out if you wanted to buy all the third outfits for the characters, you'd be spending well over like what the game is actually cost you in the first place by quite a bit.
Wow.
So yeah, there's that. I'm wondering to see if we get any freebies actually, because it won Game of the Year. Usually games do things like that.
Yeah.
And they have announced like a Spy Family tie-in somehow recently, so we'll see what that leads to.
Interesting.
But still a really good game. One of my
I want to pick it up in the new year. Definitely want to pick it up.
Nice.
And I did briefly try out, because obviously I haven't been on in a while, the Fall Guys game mode in Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh yeah, how is that?
Oh, really?
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Well, it's good fun, but they've tied in obviously a Final Fantasy twist to it. So you've got a lot of the Final Fantasy sort of like mechanics in it. So rather than it being just like a race to the end, it'll be a race to the end while you're going under different status effects, like the incredibly annoying one, Webby, where you've got a spinning like finger above your head and you only move in that direction.
For fuck's sake.
So imagine trying to navigate parts of the obstacle course while dealing with that.
That's bullshit.
And then one of the second stages, I can't even get past it.
Oh, wow.
It's where you've basically got to carry different coloured objects to the end of different coloured obstacle courses.
Okay.
And some of them I'm fine with, but then there's other ones where it's just like you just constantly seem to get hit and just drop it, and then you have to go back and re-pick it up again. And in the end, I just kind of just went in and grinded out all of the rewards, because there is like cosmetic rewards from it. There's like a mount, an emote, some music, and like an outfit.
Yeah.
You can get from it that are pretty nice. But it's only running, I think, until the end of December. But they have said it's actually going to come back at some point. So it'll just be one of those things that comes and goes every now and again for sort of a few months at a time, I imagine. But yeah, it is fun at the start, but when you end up constantly getting to sort of like annoying status effects and things, it's like, it just becomes frustrating.
Yeah, makes sense, mate.
And that's me done.
All right, I'm going to briefly mention a couple of games then. So I've been playing some Modern Warfare 3 and still enjoying it. Zombies mode's really good. Played with D-Twin and Gav. The Battle Royale mode's now changed to the new map with the season update. I've not actually played it yet, but it's just to make people aware.
Right.
I've heard some good things, so check that out. Been playing a lot of Halo Infinite. Managed to jump on with Sly this past week as well, and we had a good time. Halo 3 Resurgence maps on there, really, really cool. So, yeah, really enjoying Halo Infinite at the minute. It's still going strong, really, really enjoying it. So that's cool. And another Game Pass game I played online with Clarky and Gav. And it's a good little chill game, really, is Golf with Friends. Download this onto your Xbox if you have Game Pass. Really good fun to play with your friends, hence the name Golf with Friends.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Huzzah.
Right, one bit of news I've seen. I think Darren actually mentioned this before we started. So do you want to take us away, Darren? Because I can't find the actual tweet at the minute.
Yeah, so basically, it was roughly around about a year or so back, a friend of mine at work sort of said to me, check out this game on Steam. It looks absolutely incredible. It's like one of those survival games, but it's like PvE, PvP, kind of like a DayZ kind of thing, per se, called The Day Before. And a lot of people, even back then, were saying that these trailers and stuff, they look too good, and like the game can't be like this. And then there was like a lot of silence from the developers, and then like certain footage would like resurface and then be taken down. And then when they actually started to show off the gameplay, it didn't look anywhere near as good as the actual like reveal trailers, etc., which were done in the style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Like obviously quite a few trailers are done like nowadays. I mean, Killzone 2, or was it Killzone 3, which was the famous one that was like complete bullshit that was at a PlayStation E3 once. So yeah, the game's come out. It's a huge failure, hasn't done particularly well. The game isn't a survival game, it's an extraction shooter, which is not what it's being sold as. People have gone playing the game for over an hour or so and not come across a single zombie. And when they have, it's usually in like runs of like 2 or 3 at a time, and their frame rate tanks to like 10 FPS.
Wow.
And it was reported earlier today on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it that the developer that made the game is just instantly just shut down.
And taking everyone's money. It's weird, it's mad, because I saw it when it came out earlier this week, and I watched some trailers, and I thought, this looks like The Division. It looks pretty good.
Yes.
And then And I'm so glad I didn't buy it.
I mean, they were charging like 40 quid for it or something, weren't they?
Oh, ridiculous, mate! And it's still for sale on Steam right now.
It shouldn't be. If a developer instantly just shuts down, that's proof of
red flag.
There's something dodgy going on.
Hang on. I've just gone back onto Steam. The buy button's gone. There is no purchase button.
I can't wait to see some of the videos on this. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
The day before.
Day before. I might go and check it out. Sounds entertaining.
And the plot just keeps sort of getting worse every day as it sort of goes on.
That's pretty awful, man. Like they because I've just seen. I found the tweet. Oh, we've been put our blood, sweat, and tears into this for 5 years. Well, if you'd actually done any work for 5 years, the game would be a lot better than what it's come out as.
There's a lot of people accusing her of like just basically panicking last minute and within the last year or so just cobbling something together with asset flips.
Yeah.
I mean, if this, obviously the thing, this could actually cause like Steam or something to put more stringent control on what people can sort of do and put out, even though there has been for years a lot of like weird shovelware on Steam from people that are just using assets and stuff like that to just constantly knock out these cheap, easy to make games.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so mental.
All the time they were saying like, we're not a scam, we're not this, we're not that, and it's just like everything you've done is like showcase the opposite, and by shutting everything down and sort of walking away from it all just constantly just proves that to people that I mean, at the end of the day, they could have started with good intentions and really wanted to make this game, but then, like, financial difficulties and maybe infighting has caused, like, certain developers and other programmers to walk away, and it's ended up the way it is, and they've just got no way of actually fixing it or knowing how to fix it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And that is literally all the news I had.
Pretty much, yeah. The biggest stuff, obviously, being GTA 6 and the Game Awards.
Yeah.
We did actually talk about GTA 6 once before when I was on, actually, didn't we?
We talked about GTA 6 earlier, mate.
Yeah, no, but I was before. I'm sure we did because I said something about people were already complaining about it. On the old socials and stuff.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, what Rockstar game doesn't release with any controversy?
I know.
Actually, I can think of one. Rockstar Table Tennis. I don't think that ever.
I love that game. That was great. That was. Oh, so I've just seen some news about Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, as we all know, it released on Xbox this week.
Yeah.
Which is great news for Xbox gamers everywhere. And I've noticed that Sly and a few other people have bought it on Xbox, even though they already own it on PC. Apparently the game is going to get proper crossplay at some point in the future.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. So I'm going to hold off.
And you can actually pre-order a physical copy of the game through Larian's own website.
Yay.
Which unfortunately I haven't been able to do because I don't have a PayPal account. I don't want a PayPal account, and even if you're paying through credit card, it still wants you to go through a PayPal account.
Really?
Which is kind of annoying. But I'm sure I'll get hold of it somehow.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's 3 discs on the Xbox. I know it's like a hefty game. It's like 130 odd gigabyte, isn't it?
It was a big game. Fucking great game. I'm not sure how big it is on PC. I can have a look. I've still got it installed.
It'd probably be a bit smaller.
137.5 gig.
Oh, right. No, it's about the same sort of size then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because obviously a lot of it is you think of all of the voiced lines and choices and all of that kind of stuff that's all got to be stored there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
I loved it, mate. Man, I think I completed it too quick. I've only played it for like 60 hours, so I need to get on with that second playthrough at some point.
Is there a new game plus for it or anything, or is it just re-roll a new character?
I don't actually know.
Because would you really want a new game plus though, considering you basically you've capped out all of your characters, so that
Well, I actually, because the first time I played through it, I played as just one of the characters in the game, but the second one I actually made a character. So my second playthrough.
So you can actually do that then, choose to actually play as one of the ones that are already there. That's fair enough.
Yeah. So I will play through it again. I did actually start a second game, but it's just such a long game, and there's so many games have come out since then as well. It's just hard to keep up, you know. So yeah, great game though. Anything else, guys?
No, not I think of.
Well, I think we're done. Well, we've been going for almost 2 hours, so I think that's about the end of this week's episode.
Fair enough. Good one.
Awesome. So, obviously, there's only going to be one more podcast before Christmas.
Yep.
We will decide on when we're recording that, maybe in our WhatsApp group. And then after that, we're going to have a week off for Christmas. And then we might even have a couple of weeks.
Baby.
Well, we'll probably have a couple of weeks off because I'm just looking at the dates now on my calendar. Because our dates that we normally record is on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we're not going to want to do that. So after next week...
Move it to another day, maybe.
Yeah, we could do. And then so as soon as our first episode after Christmas will be our Game of the Year episode.
Cool.
So get writing down your games of the year, people. And so a couple of things. The hosts here, we're going to run down our top games of the year. I've not decided on top 5 or top 10 yet. We'll discuss that. But for anyone who's listening, get your top 5s written down now. And before we record at the beginning of the new year, I want you to give me your top 5. Now, you can email me at 360gamercast@gmail.com, or I will put a post on the Discord, probably in the forum section, which we very rarely use. So there's a section in Discord called forums. I think it's just going to be an easier way to keep track than me scrolling through chat posts. So as long as if it's all under one forum post, then it's going to be easier for me to collate and read out and stuff. Yeah. So I'll make a post. I'm actually writing it down now. And then, so by the time you listen to this, it will be in the video game forum, under forum section. Okay?
Nice.
2023 in the comments. Hello for to be read out. There you go. Cool. And then, what I would really like as well is for anyone listening, if you have any fond memories of gaming or meeting up with Hogarth, please do share them with me via Discord privately if you want, or email, and I will read them out next week as well. We're going to end with something very positive. A big congratulations to Jared, aka Trip McNeely, on the birth of his little boy, Wyatt Robert. Born today.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
The 11th of December 23. That is his third child, all boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
His wife must be well happy.
Literally 20 minutes ago, he was born. I've just noticed it in our WhatsApp group. So
fantastic.
Yeah, big congratulations to Jared. That's great news.
100%.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. It's good to finish on a good note.
Yeah. That's the end of this week's show. It's been emotional roller coaster for sure.
It really has.
And yeah, that's it. So from all of us here, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.